Welcome back, YouTube. Week 32. Hope you're all doing well and excited to tune in for another weekly workshop walkthrough of Barji Marine HQ. You didn't think we'd skip out on a walkthrough, did you? Not a bloody chance. We have got tons going on. It's been another enormous week. Let's run through the list of jobs we've had through the workshop so far, and then let's get straight into the ones that are in here right now. All right, so the 625 Outsider cruise craft, the full refit. Well, that's down with the boys at AHS Yachts in West Gosford. It's got the carpet all pulled up at the moment, so in preparation for the U-deck flooring that's going in. We've cut some of the front kill tank out. There was a little bit of rot in the timber there, so that's all been cut out. That'll be thermalighted in. The floorings also, the timber covers over the petrol tank, kill tank, and that rear bilge area. That's being remade out of all thermalite. And then the U-deck will be going straight across the top of it to seal it all off. The transom, well, all the holes have been repaired in the transom itself from the old transducers, water pickups, all that sort of stuff. The boys have glassed all that up. They'll be spraying that with a fresh hit of flow coat and then buffing it back to get it nice and shiny. And then over on the front of the boat, we're bracing the front anchor well. So we've mentioned in the videos over the last week or two, this boat will be towed behind a mothership. So we're going to be having a big stainless plate fabricated and bolted to the bow of the boat. So we're doing that underneath the tow point actual boat. So we're strengthening all that up, laying up a heap more fiberglass, and then be bolting this tow point through the front of that. And then while we're there, there's some gouges and scratches, etc., from years and years of up and down the trailer, which we'll be doing some gel coat repairs under there as well. So 625 cruise craft's coming along well. The 591 McClay, it's gone. We've handed that to the customer. Outriggers have been bolted on. We ended up putting some backing plates on the back of the wishbone bases. Wasn't super happy with how strong the side of that cab was once we stuck those 5.5 metre poles in. So off to the laser cutters, had some aluminium plate laser cut and bolted in there to stiffen that right up. But those outriggers look amazing. That carbon fibre poles just look super on that boat. So no holding him back. The Garmin 8412 was bolted in. The TM 275's on the transom. Everything's ready to go. Customer has picked up the boat, taken it home, and can't wait to start seeing them catching some fish using those outriggers in the new sounder. 745 GameKing, it's back from the fabricators. We've repaired the bow mount that the Garmin Kraken was sitting on. The original mount that the motor was bolted to failed, peeled straight off the gunnel. We're very lucky to not lose that motor. We've done an amazing job building a new bow mount for it. That's a fully fabricated, painted, and now it's bolted to the boat, so it's as strong as it can ever be. Unfortunately, the top deck on that was just too thin to support the weight of these modern motors, so that's now been rectified. All right, in the workshop behind me, it is legitimately Team Cruise Craft at Barji Marine at the moment. We've got a 635 Cruise Craft directly behind me. That's in for a whole range of new pumps. So we've done slimy pump, live bait tank pump, deck wash pump, bilge pump, also replacing the boat latch on the front, and done a new switch panel at the transom as well. So we'll jump on that soon and have a look over it. We've got a 575 Cruise Craft Outsider here, just like my old fin fishing, brought back lots of memories. Got a ton of gear on it. We're doing a full refit on that, so full strip out and refit all the electrical system. It's just had years and years of electronics added to it, taken in, removed, battery systems, charging systems, absolute mess. Customers having nothing but problems with it. It's decided let's just strip it completely out and start again. So we're deep into the strip out on that boat at the moment, so we'll jump in and go through that. And then we've got the 720 Cruise Craft Explorer hardtop back in as well. It's back from the shipwrights, got its new gunnel rubber on it, looking sensational. Also paint stripped the anti-foul off the outboard. It's been fully resprayed. It looks amazing. And finally, we've been able to mount that NSS 416 in the dash on a nice custom piece of matte black acrylic. So I've got the AP44 in there, we've got the JL stereo and the big 16 flush mounted. It's come up an absolute treat. Super stoked with that, so stay tuned for it. And then we'll finish off again with the 760 Haines Hunter enclosed. Another big week on the fit out on the wiring side in that boat, so plenty to catch up on there as well. If any of that interests you guys, stay tuned. Let's get cracking. First cab off the rank today is this 635 hardtop Explorer cruise craft, local boat. Loves his marlin fishing, as you can tell, all the spill marks and scratches on the side of it. They're the only ones that we love. We've had this boat in the past. We've done a pair of 1 kilowatt transducers. We've done a Garmin sounder in it, a GSD 28 and an MSC sat compass. But this time it's in for some pumps, so let's climb in the bilge and check it out. We've replaced the rusty old deck wash pump. Right there, you can see that yellow kind of film on it. Well, that's called fluid film. It's a lanolin-based product that we coat the outside of our deck washers with. That's just to try and preserve the life and stray off some of that corrosion and water. There's the two pumps. They're the shore flow bait centuries. They're 800 gallon per hour each, one feeding the tubes, one feeding the bait tank. Done a Sahara auto bilge pump in there as well. A pair of 1 kilowatt transducers. Something else I want to also bring to your attention on these cruise crafts, you can see that rod holder drain up here. That's something we add to the bottom of the bait board, and then we plumb it in using that clear tube. That's to stop water coming down that tube, dropping straight down on top of this deck wash pump, and also on the switch panels that a lot of these cruise crafts have. Something to be very mindful of. You'll see we've done it on both sides. If we can get the phone in there. There you go. That's it there, sitting at the bottom. Put them on the bottom of your rod holders. And we also make them for these skinnier tubes here. So that's this guy. Water comes down here, leaks straight down on top of the pump and behind these switch panels. And of course you can see our switch panel here. The original contour style switch panel was very corroded on the back, so we've knocked up a new one here for the customer. Waterproof switches, backlit. It's a very neat touch on the back of these cruise crafts. Get in touch if you'd like one. Moving right along is our next project and the full fit out. This is the 575 Outsider cruise craft. More gear than you could swing a cat at. It is loaded. So it's in for a full strip out and electrical refit. Had a lot of work done to this boat. It is genuinely loved by its owners and used by its owners, which we love to see. So let's climb aboard, see what we're getting up to. Starting at the front, we're going to be removing this Lumar anchor winch in favour of a Lone Star drum winch. So we're also potentially going to be strengthening the bulkhead in there, make sure that we're not going to rip it clean out of the boat. You can see the boat's in really good condition for a boat of its age. New clears, lots of gloss, lots of wax in the gel coat. Compliments to the owner. All right, down on the transom, been repowered with the 200 horsepower V6 Merc. Got a pair of Lenco trim tabs on her. We did a set of Hella A1 Apollo underwater lights last year, and while it was here we also installed the B275 AMR 1 kilowatt transducer in the keel on the planing plank there, and it's actually fed in. You can see it's got about a 10 or 15 mil step down from the flat of the planing plank. You'll notice on the jobs that we've got here, particularly those in for an extended period of time, all this blue protective film. People ask us a lot, what is that stuff? Basically it is exactly that, it's a protective film. It looks after things like the U-deck and all these surfaces. We spend a lot of time going up, in and out of these boats, and we do that to protect them so they don't leave in worse condition than they arrived. That's definitely not our objective. So you'll see tons of that blue plastic on these long-term jobs. And then on the floors, again, depending on the supplier, this is all blue core flute that we lay down as well, which this floor's all done in U-deck as well. Yeah, again, we spend a lot of time working in here, so we want to protect your floors, and that's why we do that, and that's what that is. So anyhow, on with the job. And you can see here, fully stripped the bilge out. That's all the cabling that's come out of the bilge. There's transducer cabling there, some old battery cabling, power assist steering on this as well. So some of the legacy stuff there. We've got deck wash pumps. We pulled the battery out. Looks like they've used our battery block system, which was really cool. You can see the remnants of that with the battery removed and how that looks. Inside the bilge, we're going to be reconfiguring pumps and bits and pieces. There's the transducer. Bilge pump, we'll be adding a second one of those in. We have already done a switch panel for this boat. There you can see the backlit switch panel we made last time the boat was here. Other battery area completely cleared out. Mercury steering harness there as well. That's the power steering pump, the hydraulic pump for the Mercury. We're going to be going lithium, so we pulled a couple of batteries out of this boat. We've got an AGM there and a deep cycle. Customers had some parasitic loads, but also does a lot of overnight camping on his boat, and likes to leave his electronics on for anchor drag alarms and the like. So we're actually going to be going lithium with this boat. We're going to be dropping a 200 amp hour 12 volt lithium battery into that space and then charging it with a DC-DC charger. So using our fairly standard setup, we're going to be running it through a Victron servo and doing the MFD integration, so you can get all these battery data via CAN bus. So directly out of the battery via Ethernet into his Simrad screens in this case. You see we've got the speakers removed, battery isolators were in there. We're going to be doing Aegis remote battery switching. We'll be replacing all those ugly circuit breakers as well. You'll see on this side we've got the panel pulled out, all the seating pulled out. There's more of the Mercury vessel view engine harness. We've rewired the hard top, so you can see there we've pulled new cabling. All the white stuff is ours. It's all new marine tin 2-core going up in through the stainless steel, passing it all up through there. We've had to run some of the radar cable just by physical size up through and on the outside. That's all in our Kevlar sleeving. There's all that harness. It's all been done and pulled through from the top of the Bimini and the rocket launcher, all ready to be run through the boat and then terminated in there behind the helm. While it's here, we're also going to be adding Starlink. For those of you unfamiliar with Starlink, this is the Starlink Mini. This is the one we recommend for trailer boats and boats just in general. It operates on 12 volts, and as you can see, that's my hand. They're a very small dish and very easy to find somewhere to mount them. This guy we're going to be mounting on a Starlink flat mount bracket as opposed to ours, just purely as we don't have the space up on top of the stainless steel for it. So it's going to be mounted on an angle like this. All right, so you can see that. On that bracket, we're having a bracket welded to the existing stainless steel. Climb up on the roof and I'll show you where this is going to be going. So the owners had a nice radar arch installed previously. You can see there's a satellite compass. He's got the halo radar up here as well. So we're going to be going next to the radar here. We're going to be dropping a bracket between here and here and then mounting the Starlink on it. So he will have full-time high-speed internet regardless of where he is when he's using his boat. And you can see a lot of work gone into stripping this boat down. All the dash has been removed. This was all Sikaflex down, so we had one almighty job to remove it. We've got vessel view screens, flush mounted Simrad screens, anchor winch controllers, you name it, this boat had it. So we pulled it out. We're going to do a full reconfiguration of all that. The old contour style switch panel, which looks like this. Everyone will be familiar with those. As you can see, that's not going back in. We will be building a custom Barji Marine backlit switch panel for this boat, which will go a long ways towards improving the reliability and the look of it. We've got an Evo 3S 12 up on the dash. We're going to try and find room for a second one. There's a lot of the gear that we've pulled out of the boat, sitting up on the dash waiting to be reinstalled. Let's climb behind. All right, we're in the cabin now, and you can see everything has been pulled out. The big cover that normally sits on the back is also gone. It's probably going to stay gone. We just don't have the physical room to put it back by the time we do everything nice and neatly. Some of the existing hardware, that's the Simrad S5100 sonar module and a bare wire adapter there for the 2 transducers. They were pretty well labelled. These are the Blue Sea fuse holders. There was 2 of those. They don't look too old, to be honest, so we're going to strip them down and just make sure that they're in good nick, and if they are, we can reuse those. Pointless replacing something that's in good health like that. So as you can see, Lots of work to do. Next is the 685 hardtop Explorer cruise craft. I think I've been calling this the 720, but easy enough mistake to make because they changed the name of the boats or the model not long after this one was produced. Exactly the same boat, but they started measuring them end to end instead of waterline like they used to. Back from the shipwright with this brand new gunnel rubber fitted. And what a difference that has made to the look of the boat. The old one, if you remember from previous videos, was faded, sun UV damage. Basically it was yellow. So brand new gunnel rubber, looking absolutely immaculate on the side of this boat. Another shot of that new gunnel rubber. Boat was ceramic coated about 4 weeks ago now. Hasn't been washed, and look at it, still, it's been outside for a solid week or two as well, and how nice and clean and shiny it still looks. Down at the transom, if you remember again from weeks gone back, if you go back through some of the earlier videos, you'll see all the midsection transom bracket here was black basically. It was painted in anti-foul. So the guys at AHS have paint stripped that off, including all the trim pump, trim rams, and given it a hit of 2-pack grey to match the Yamaha. Also did some work on the skeg as well to repair the paint that had been damaged there, but looks like brand new. This boat has had just such a huge transformation from where it started. It's looking amazing. Let's climb inside and see the new dash layout. Before we get there, since it's been back, we've installed these brand new custom 4-inch dual slimy tubes. They're flush mounted in through the engine well there. They look amazing. It's going to be awesome for the old switch bait program, marlin fishing. While we're here, we might as well have a look in the bilge. There you can see we've got 2 brand new pumps. We've got an auto SPX pump there with a float switch built in. Then we've got a big shore flow secondary bilge pump in on the customer's request, and then a pair of Bait Century live bait and tuna tube pumps as well. Done new through holes, got new ball valves on them as well. Something else probably worth mentioning on this job as well, we've had these side pockets strengthened up and then also gusseted. You can see that gusset in here. The back of these has been filled with thermalite and then glued and epoxied in, and that's to, well, this one was actually damaged, so we've done that to repair this side. We've done the port side as well, exactly the same thing. So these are now solid as. If anyone's got one of these boats, they'll know how flimsy this side pocket is. You can see there we've got a gusset. So we're having a nice big long stainless steel rod rack made. And like most people, we've got lots of heavy gold Tiagras and heavy spin reels, all that sort of stuff that gets stored in here. And that puts a lot of pressure on these side pockets, and there's really not a lot of strength to them. So yeah, that's been beefed up. So when all those heavy 50 wides and 30 wides and 80 wides, anything that he puts in here are stored, we're not going to be ripping this side pocket off. All right, now coming up into the helm, have a look at that. Finally, the big hole has been filled. A nice compilation of brand new NSS4 Simrad screens. We've custom made a black acrylic dash plate for this and polished out the side, so see the nice polished radius edges. Just looks so smart. 16-inch flush mounted. Let's pull some covers off so you can see. Got the JL stereo, the Media Master 55 in there as well. The Simrad AP44 autopilot remote. Got the Yamaha engine gauge up there, and then a 12-inch Simrad NSS4. But how smart does that look? What an improvement on this boat. And we've also installed another Rock Wireless active phone charger in here for the passenger, somewhere to store your phone out of the way, and one there for the skipper. Very functional, practical layout for the 685 Cruisecraft Explorer. Last but not least, let's get back into the 760 Haines Hunter enclosed. It's this stage in fit outs like this where it gets hard to illustrate just how much work goes into a week in these boats, but for anyone that's in this game, they can relate, where you can just spend hours, literal hours and hours terminating off cables, which is exactly what we've done. You'll notice now that huge big red bunch of cables is no longer. It's been trimmed, terminated off, and it's all fit now to these Aegis remote battery switches, which we've actually flush mounted. It's the first time we've done that, but you'll see there, They're sitting in there flush. And then all the terminations are obviously hidden behind that panel, so it's actually a small little, create a little box, a little enclosure for it. So it keeps everything nice and neat. So when you open this, really all you're seeing is that, yeah, those remote switches. We've also started doing some of the plumbing. So the live bait tank in-feeds have been plumbed. We've got hose running down here. Just in the process of working out how we're going to tee and isolate and control water flow into the two bait tanks. So it's got a bait tank in either side, one there and one under that MR box. And also got two pairs of slimy tubes as well. So we've got to come up with a neat way to provide water to those and also be able to control them, the flow into both of those. I would love it if there was a more commercially available manifold system. I know the guys in the States from Hooker Pumps make some nice ones, but access to that stuff over here in Australia is virtually non-existent without importing one-offs. But if anyone's got any ideas, I'm all ears. I'm also keen to make something if someone's got an idea. In the back here, a lot more work's been done. Got some junction boxes, got the fuel lines running in. That clear hose is drains from rod holders. Fuel filters, they can be mounted. We're still kind of just putting that kind of work off because we need access to get in here, but you can see a lot of work gone into the back there. Hard whale piping for pumps. We've got a deck wash pump in here. We've got the pump here for the Seakeeper 1 as well. Also installed. We still need to get in here and do all the transducers, pumps and through holes. That will be after the boat show now. And mainly because I'm the only guy that can fit in there. They don't call me the ferret for no reason. I'll actually, I'll put a photo in here now the boys took when I climbed in through here during the week to get in and start planning out how we're actually going to get stuff mounted. You've seen here, we've got the, these are all the chargers, DC chargers for the lithium battery bank running the gyro. We've got the deck wash bulkhead fitting plumbed in. You can see that piping running through there. Some lighting in here as well. You can see that rod holder drain. That pipe running off that, just draining the rod holder. This is cabling coming up here. This is the Mercury power steering pump. These are all cables that'll be used to connect to the bilge pumps, underwater lights, all that sort of thing. Trolling motor plug here. This is actually what we use for electric reels. So these started life as trolling motor plugs. But we find them awesome for that purpose. So they turn, they spin, they lock. There's a little O-ring in here as well on the end of it, which seals the water out, and then a nice weatherproof cap as well for when they're not in use, so they're flush. And yeah, then we just wire that onto the power cable for the electric reels. Works really well. As opposed to an Anderson plug, guys. I hate Anderson plugs in boats. They just do not belong. And in the starboard locker, got another couple of batteries in here. You've seen most of this in the weeks gone by, but a little bit more finishing off done in here. We've got the 240 volt charger. That's the 3-bank charger for lead acid batteries, the shunt enclosure, and then that is all nice and watertight behind this hatch. So yeah, it's come up really good. All right, and wrapping up over at the helm, we've started pulling the balance of the cables through. You can see that's all in the Kevlar sleeve. That's all waiting to be clipped up. That's another job for me, the ferret, to get in here and yeah, start clipping all this cable up. So got to get that in there nice and neat. You can see all those cable tie saddles running across the top. That's what we'll be using to secure it. Got the hydraulic steering lines here as well, waiting for the autopilot pump to be mounted in. And then all this to bring through as well. So still a stack of work to go. And just in case you missed it last week, there's the helm. Very, very nice indeed. That's a Fruno 295 and a TZT XL 16. Can't wait to get the front of this boat and start the fit out of this, which will be the next major exercise. This is the fuse and circuit board panel that's going to be going in behind it. So that's what we'll be using. More commonly seen on your larger boats, but definitely got a place on something this size with that many circuits. All right, guys, well, that is a wrap on our weekly workshop walkthrough for week 32. Hope you've enjoyed tuning in. Don't forget, next week is the Sydney Boat Show, Olympic Park at Homebush. we are exhibiting. We're looking forward to welcoming you and all our customers to come and check out a display. Massive, massive range of marine electronics. Also bringing all our own ProTech product too. So we're going to have our ProTech display stand there for the first time at the boat show. So if you're interested in learning more about how this works, come down. You can see, feel and touch for yourself. But for those of you that haven't seen it before, we've got a range of ProTech caps and mounts that help prevent corrosion on your cables when they're not connected to your screen. So you can simply just, when you've disconnected them off your screen, you can have this mount mounted to your boat. You can see it's got all the common ends. This is the Lowrance one. We've got them there for Garmin. We've got them for Humminbird. We've got them for Furuno. We've also got caps that screw on the end here with a lanyard. So if you didn't want to have the mount fixed on your boat, you can use a cap as well. You can see here, the Garmin, it's all threaded. All right, and that seats in there on that O-ring. So yeah, just looks after all your cables, stops them from getting the green death. And then here as well, we've got them for screen caps. So we see all the time, these caps either fall off. Most of these don't get used, so they don't have a cable on it. People just rely on these little rubber boots to protect very expensive electronics. Fortunately, they don't stay on well. So we've got a full range of caps here as well, which you can literally just screw down on and tight, and protects all these ports on the back of your sounders. Again, available for Garmin, Furuno, Humminbird, Lowrance and Simrad. Guys, don't forget, next weekend, Sydney Boat Show. Thank you to everyone that entered our ProTech promotion that ended midnight last night. I think we've had well over, easy 3,500 entries, which is just super cool. So thank you for your support with that. And yeah, that's it. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you to my team for another marvellous week here at Barji Marine HQ. Hope you've enjoyed the tour. Look forward to catching up with as many of you as we can at the boat show. And don't forget, given that we're going to be at the boat show next week, it is going to be absolutely impossible for me to do a weekly workshop walkthrough. So we're going to be skipping a week. We'll be skipping week 33, and we'll see you back here for 34. But if you're tuning into our socials, we'll have plenty of content up on socials whilst we're at the boat show. So make sure you stay tuned on Instagram and Facebook. All right, guys, again, thank you for tuning in. Really do appreciate all your support. Don't forget, if you like the video, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. That really helps build our audience, and share it with your friends. Thanks, guys. Stay safe. Catch you later. Be good.